Most people still talk about ESG as if it's a cost, something discretionary, something you add on when times are good. And that framing isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. ESG isn't a spend category, it's risk governance. When a business invests in ESG, it isn't trying to look good, it's trying to reduce downside exposure across parts of the organization that can quietly fail and become very expensive very fast. Look at where modern business risk actually sits now. It's no longer confined to the balance sheet. It lives in regulation that can change faster than strategy cycles, in reputational trust that can collapse overnight, in workforces that disengage when systems feel extractive or unsafe, and in suppliers that look stable right up until one shock breaks the chain. That's the territory ESG is governing. So when ESG gets labeled as a cost, a category error is being made. It starts getting compared to marketing spend or discretionary innovation, when in reality, it sits alongside insurance, compliance, and operational controls. Things you don't buy for upside, but instead to stop damage spreading. And like most prevention systems, ESG is invisible when it works. You don't see the fine that never landed, or the contract you didn't lose, or the talent that stayed because governance felt credible. You don't see the supplier failure that never cascaded. But that absence of failure isn't a gap, it is the value. That is why serious organizations don't obsess over what ESG is costing us. They are asking instead, what does unmanaged risk cost us when it finally materializes? Because those costs aren't abstract. They show up as regulatory exposure, reputation damage, and operational disruption and workforce instability, priced into every crisis response, emergency restructuring, and brand rebuild that happens too late. Yes, over time, good risk governance supports capital confidence, protects margins, and preserves optionality, but that's not the starting point. Those are downstream effects, not the job description. The job of ESG is simple: to reduce the probability and severity of failure across the non-financial risks that are now financially decisive. If you still see ESG as a cost, you'll always try to minimize it. And if you see it as risk governance, you design it properly. And you stop asking, why doesn't it pay back like a campaign? So check out my new YouTube video that's linked below. The episode isn't about reporting and it isn't about incentives or behavior. It's about getting the frame right, because until you do, nothing else will land.